Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking on a genuinely massive, complex challenge, managing the wild, rapid integration of artificial intelligence. But, we're not looking at this through the eyes of Silicon Valley developers or sci-fi writers. Instead, we're putting on a totally different hat. We're looking through the highly pragmatic, deeply experienced lens of the insurance industry. Specifically, we're pulling some incredibly deep insights from Zurich Insurance Group to understand exactly how seasoned risk experts view this whole technological revolution. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's jump right to the heart of the matter. The big question keeping business leaders, policymakers, and honestly, probably some of us awake at night. How in the world do we put guardrails on a technology that is evolving faster than we can even understand it? AI is reshaping the global economy at a breakneck speed, a pace that literally outstrips our current regulations, how organizations adapt, and frankly, public understanding. We absolutely have to find a way to navigate this transformation safely.
So, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the AI transformation boom, look at insurers in the arena, map out the AI risk spectrum, take a journey to the frontier, unpack the insurability problem, and finally look at building policy guardrails.
Section 1. The AI transformation boom. The pace of global AI adoption. Look, we really have to start by just acknowledging the sheer velocity and scale of what is happening right now all over the world. Just listen to this number. Global corporate investment in AI is projected to hit nearly $258.7 billion by 2025. That is a massive structural economic shift. It's not just some passing tech fad. Think about this. Global AI adoption has skyrocketed from a mere 20% of organizations back in 2017 to near universal levels today. And right now, almost 80% of business execs are saying AI is completely rewriting their workforce strategies from the ground up.
In the operational upside, it's completely undeniable. Across the insurance industry alone, companies using AI for things like claims processing are seeing massive gains. We're talking 40 to 50% faster handling times, a 25% bump in customer satisfaction, and a frankly staggering 60% drop in waiting times, all because routine questions are just routed automatically. It's a real game changer.
Section 2. Insurers in the arena. Participants, not spectators. Because to really understand the risks here, we have to look closely at who is actually assessing them.
Now, this is the crucial point, this dual perspective. Insurers are definitely not just sitting on the sidelines watching this happen. They're right in the arena. On one hand, they act as users. They are deploying over 460 generative AI use cases internally for stuff like underwriting and claims. But on the other hand, they are enablers. They're actually tasked with assessing and underwriting the AI-related risks of their customers. And this dual role, it creates this incredible feedback loop. Their everyday hands-on experience using AI directly sharpens their ability to assess and price the risks of it out in the real world.
But, and this is a big but, as they deploy these super powerful tools, insurers are drawing a very firm line in the sand. They are absolutely insisting on a human-in-the-loop principle for any consequential decisions. Think about decisions that actually impact someone's life, like coverage or paying out a claim. Whenever AI touches these outcomes, a highly qualified human has to be there to review and validate the final call. It's absolutely crucial to make sure that human qualities, things like judgment, empathy, and above all, accountability, aren't just lost to an algorithm.
Which brings us to the core of our explainer today. Section 3. The AI risk spectrum. Mapping the threats. How do some of the most seasoned risk assessors on the planet actually categorize AI?
The methodology they use here is just fascinating. See, insurers have spent decades figuring out how to underwrite incredibly complex, fast-moving threats. Think catastrophic weather events or massive cyber attacks. Well, they're taking that exact same lens and aiming it directly at AI. They don't see AI as one big monolithic threat, but rather as a spectrum. We can break this spectrum down into 3 distinct steps. It moves from those well-understood daily risks that we can put a number on, all the way out to an unmapped, wild frontier of systemic exposure where we're basically flying blind. Let's break down what actually lives in these different zones.
Down at the first level, we already have frameworks to identify known risks. These are things like an AI system replicating historical biases, data security leaks, or good old copyright infringement. But as we move up to emerging risks, things get a lot harder to quantify. We run into this black box opacity, where even the developers who built the thing can't explain exactly how the AI reached a specific decision. We're also seeing these massive accountability gaps in complex supply chains, and worse, AI being weaponized to launch highly sophisticated, constantly adapting cyber attacks.
So what happens when we venture even further past those emerging risks? That brings us to Section 4, Journey to the Frontier, Systemic Cyber-like Threats.
There's a really profound insight we need to chew on for a second. Homogeneity creates fragility. Think about it. Right now, AI capabilities are heavily concentrated among just a handful of foundation model providers. So when countless organizations across completely different industries all rely on the exact same underlying AI brains, a single vulnerability doesn't just impact one company. It cascades like a domino effect across the entire ecosystem.
This systemic territory is dangerous. It heavily mirrors the dynamics of catastrophic cyber risks. We're talking about correlated failures, where shared conditions cause massive, clustered losses all at once. It's extreme concentration risk. I mean, think about how a single IT outage can literally ground flights worldwide. Now imagine those dynamics amplified by highly autonomous AI systems making decisions in rapid, automated feedback loops. We got a tiny glimpse of this with the 2010 flash crash, where automated trading bots triggered a 600-point market nosedive in minutes. Deeply interconnected AI systems could spread failures much, much faster than any human could ever hope to intervene.
And this cascading frontier introduces a massive headache for the global economy. Section 5, the insurability problem, pricing the unknown.
See, the entire insurance industry operates on a very fundamental rule. We cannot insure what we cannot understand and quantify. And we definitely cannot price risk when we don't know who is responsible. As we push toward agentic AI, where these multi-agent systems interact, make choices, and delegate tasks to each other completely autonomously, tracing exactly how a decision was made becomes incredibly difficult. If an autonomous chain of AI causes real-world harm, who is legally on the hook? Is it the developer, the data provider, the end user?
If we can't answer that question, we have a very serious problem. Without clear chains of accountability, without clearly mapped concentrations of who relies on what, and without a solid history of incident data, these advanced AI risks sit way beyond the boundary of commercial insurability. They essentially become what the industry calls silently insured systemic risks. They just linger out there on corporate balance sheets around the globe as unpriced, unmodeled, and entirely unmanaged threats. It's a massive blind spot.
So how do we actually build the navigation tools to survive this frontier and reap all the incredible benefits AI has to offer? Section 6, Building Policy Guardrails, Navigating Safely. This is going to require some serious coordinated public-private action.
The analysis here points us towards 3 highly methodical, interconnected policy priorities that both government and industry have to build together to ensure this transformation is safe. Let's walk through what these actually look like in practice.
First up, we absolutely must establish trust through clear liability. We need to make sure that our established legal and liability frameworks actually work in an AI context. But what we must avoid at all costs is regulatory overreach. Building totally new, parallel legal regimes just for AI? That's just going to cause massive fragmentation, defensive overcompliance, and total confusion. We need crystal clarity within our existing laws so that insurers can accurately price the risk, because when they can price it, companies can safely adopt it.
Second, we need proportionate governance. Basically, this means scaling our oversight to match the actual risk level. So, an AI making a high-risk insurance coverage decision, that needs rigorous, intense auditing, but a low-risk customer service chatbot, that needs a much lighter touch. Crucially, though, we have to map our dependencies on those few major foundation models we talked about earlier. We need to build structural circuit breakers to stop those cascading failures in their tracks, just like the financial markets did after the flash crash. And we need to treat major AI incidents with the exact same mandatory reporting and collective learning protocols that we currently use for massive cyber attacks.
Finally, let's look at the third priority and see how we build a truly resilient society. We have to actively invest in workforce transition. Look, AI is going to displace jobs, and without proper support, that's going to create some severe social and economic shockwaves. But it's not just about reskilling folks for new tech jobs. We must actively preserve essential human skills in our education systems. I'm talking about things like ethical reasoning, complex relationship building, and deep contextual judgment. These are the things that algorithms simply cannot replicate. I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. The insurance industry's core purpose is to make human progress possible by managing risk intelligently. The goal with AI is not zero risk. Think about it. If we aim for zero risk, we'd have to walk away from all these incredible benefits and completely stall human progress. But the goal is also not to just blindly ignore the very real systemic dangers lurking out there on the frontier. The real goal here is managed risk. So the question we all have to answer today is this:
What choices are we going to make right now about transparency, liability, and governance to secure a resilient tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.